Eddie, just the first news, Brad Davis isn't coming on the trip. Can you give us any clarity as to why?
Family reasons, mate.
Is it a big blow on the eve of departing?
Well, I think there's an opportunity for us, and I think we'll improve our coaching staff.
When did you find out, or when did the
we had a discussion a couple of nights ago.
When you say you think you'll improve your coaching staff, how do you do that in such a short window?
Tricks, mate.
Can you give us a bit of insight?
It's under the hat. It's under the hat. No, there's a potential candidate ready to step up now. So, as I said, I think we'll improve the coaching staff.
Is that Scott Wiseman, or have you spoken to him? Sorry, I was going to clarify, that was Brad.
I have spoken to Scott, but he's unavailable.
But that was your call around, that was Brad's decision to stand out?
Yeah, we had a discussion, yeah.
You're quoted as saying you volunteered to make the tough calls for the blokes you had to cut, and you phoned them personally. One, of you able to get on to Quaid, and two, Michael Hooper. What was that phone call like? And was the calf the main reason for his accident?
Look, we've moved on from that now. You know, in reality, we've selected the team. We're on the plane. Michael wasn't selected for the tour. Obviously, there's still a question mark over his fitness, and that's taken into consideration.
How do you feel on the eve? Do you feel as confident as you were at the start of the year?
More confident, mate. More confident.
What gives you
I think we've got the right squad now. I think we've got the right balance of energy, enthusiasm. We've got youth on our side. We're ready to go. Much more confident.
Obviously, the belief is high within. Can you see why people don't believe in Wallabies?
Yeah, no. Fantastic, mate. Yeah, none of you guys think we can do any good, so that's all right. Challenge is for us as a group to show you that we can, and show ourselves that we can. And I think it's just a great image for Australian rugby to have a young team ready to take on the world.
How much do you thrive on that?
I enjoy it, mate. I enjoy it when people say you can't do it. And I think the team's starting to get a real taste for it. And I've just seen, like yesterday, our training was the best I've seen. Best I've seen by a mile. And that's on the back of like 4 hard days in Darwin, overnight in Arnhem Land, sleeping on sand. And boys are ready to go. We're ready to show the world what we can do.
Eddie, have you spoken to Quaid?
Well, I've tried to, mate. Yeah, but we can't get hold of him.
Why do you think he wouldn't take your call?
Because I think he's very upset, mate.
So how did he know he wasn't in the squad?
Oh, look,
it's a fair question. How do you know he wasn't in the squad then if it's not taking
well, it was announced, mate. I don't know why you're going back to that. And that's probably reflective of Australian rugby. We've got to move on. We're moving on to a World Cup now with a great young squad, and you're still talking about players we haven't selected. Well, we've tried to ring him, mate. That's all I can do.
Michael Hooper's played 100 tests. Is it true that he had to ring up team management to ask, is he in the World Cup squad?
Well, not to my knowledge.
The Australia A squad's going to be over there as well. Bernard Foley's included in that. A lot of those guys are still very much in the frame. If indeed there's an injury and they could be called in, right?
It could be, but guys, we've moved on. That's all been done and dusted. We've moved on. If the players are unhappy about the selection process, so be it. We're moving on to a new young squad that's going to take Australian rugby forward. And you've got to understand that what we've had here over the last 8 years hasn't been good enough. Hasn't been good enough, and we want the opportunity for these young players to go forward. So I'm disappointed if the players upset, but all I can do is ring them.
So no.
And if they don't take your phone call, you can't talk to them.
No, but that would suggest a communication breakdown, right?
Why? If I ring them and they won't ring back, what do you want me to do? What do you want me to do? What do you want me to do? Tell me. Well, why keep asking about it?
Are you going to have a fully fit squad to roll out against France?
Well, France is a practice game, mate.
Yeah.
It's a practice
Balancing
game.
act.
It's a practice game.
Deliberately chosen, Ed? The French, were they deliberately chosen as the warm-up game?
I haven't been part of that. I've just had to roll with the punches, mate.
Okay, what about bolters out of that A squad? Is that a long shot, or are they just shut out completely for Australia A?
Well, those players are on standby, aren't they? They're on standby. We've picked our squad of 33. Unless we have some sort of injury, we won't be changing that squad.
You talk about the young.
From Will Skelton since he's been made captain.
Yeah, no, really impressive, mate. He's obviously a man to look up to in all terms. He's had a huge winning record in Europe, and he's brought a level of togetherness to the squad that I haven't seen. And it's a promising start, mate, but it's just a start.
You said at the start of the year, you're looking for that 5 to 10% more from the guys. Is that underneath your hat? What are those tricks that you talk about?
Look, it all comes down to playing the game well, mate, with good energy, good enthusiasm, playing to a particular plan, you know, and we're working really hard on that.
What's the difference between knockout rugby and World Cup rugby to everything else that goes through a 4 years?
Well, there's no different, mate.
No difference.
You just got to play each game as it comes. I can't believe the level of negativity here, boys.
Okay, what about the Matildas then?
Hey? Fantastic.
Here's a positive
Fantastic.
question for you.
Yeah.
How do you take inspiration from a female football team?
Well, you take inspiration by the way they've lit up Australian society. I think, you know, done something fantastic, giving young kids the opportunity to play it. Now, I know what's wrong with Australian rugby, and part of you blokes are the problem because you're so bloody negative about everything. So negative about everything. Okay, so we're going off to the World Cup. You think we can't win? You think the selection process is bad because the players complain. So I apologise for that. So we'll go out there and do our best, boys. So if you haven't got anything positive to say, don't ask, please.
Eddie, your vast experience at World Cups, you've been to so many of them, you've had success. What can you bring to the table to get this young squad competitive at the Cup?
Yeah, it's all about timing, mate. It's all about timing a run. You know, we don't need to be at our best before a crux game in the World Cup, and the first crux game is going to be against Georgia. So we need to be at a level where we can beat Georgia. Then we go on to the next game, which is against Fiji. Then we go on to Wales, and then we go on to Portugal. And then you're in the quarterfinals. And once you're in the quarterfinals, then you got to be the best team on the day. And it's all about the timing. It's about the level of tactical influence you put into your team, and you build that up as you go along. But I know you blokes think we can't do any good, so don't ask any questions, boys. Just be the pessimist you are. Keep Australian rugby where it's been. Keep it where it's been. Complain about players that don't get selected. Keep doing about that because it's fantastic, because we love it.
I don't think it's a reflection of just the media. I think if you're going to a World Cup campaign losing 4 straight games under a new coach.
Yeah, no, 100%.
I think some of these questions are relevant.
100%. We haven't been good enough.
Did you see the squad come together during that 4-day trip to Darwin and Arnhem?
Well, I think we're progressively coming together. Yeah.
What was the last couple that really...
No, let him keep going, mate. I love this. I love this negativity. It's fantastic. I love it. Keep going. Keep going. Keep going. Keep going. Keep going.
What was the real... What did you see the difference by coming
Oh, nothing, mate. We're terrible. You know we're terrible. Just tell us we're terrible. And we'll prove you wrong.
Who are you most looking forward to unleashing in the World Cup?
Look, I think we're going to have a mighty back row. I think young Hooper's progressed really nicely over the period of time. If you look him in the first test against South Africa, he was struggling to make a tackle, and by the end of the Rugby Championship, he made 20 tackles, carried over the top of the All Black forwards, and that's the progression this team's going to make. But obviously, you blokes don't think that. I can feel this negativity coming out. I've got to wash myself off, boys. I've got to wash myself off because it's just sticking to me.
Eddie, obviously you've lost Brad as your attacking coach, so you've worked towards an attacking goal and structure for the last 4 months. Do you stay on that with a new coach? What if they've got new ideas? How do you gel that?
Well, any coach that comes in is to add, not to take away, mate. And I'm overseeing the attack anyway, as I have been.
How's Taniela and Max going from their injuries?
Terrible, mate. Terrible. Like everything else, terrible.
All right, Eddie, one last chance, I guess, before you board the plane to everyone watching at home. What's your message to all the Wallabies fans out there?
Guys, we've got a young squad here. They're going to make some waves at France.
Thank you.
Thanks for the worst press conference I've ever had in World Rugby. Worst press conference. Well done, boys.
Can we finish?
That is the worst I've ever seen.
Can we have one more?
Worst I've ever seen.
The idea behind I guess they're Kubras and the
Oh, you guess they're Kubras. They're Australian, mate.
Yeah, I didn't want to assume without knowing it.
Right? Forget it, boys.
All right, good luck.
You got to give yourselves uppercuts, boys. There.